In the tech world right now, there is this massive, epic tug-of-war going on. On one side, you have this absolutely unbelievable AI gold rush. And on the other? Well, that's where reality, regulators, and some truly spectacular human errors come in. Okay, let's get into it.
So let me ask you, what would you do with $650 billion? Seriously, you could probably buy a small country. Or, if you're one of the big tech giants, you bet it all on the future of AI. That's right, this insane number is what they're planning to spend just on AI infrastructure by 2026.
I mean, just to put that in perspective for you, that's more money than the entire economic output of Sweden for a year. This kind of investment is fueling an absolute frenzy, sending chipmakers like NVIDIA into the stratosphere, because everyone is scrambling to get the hardware to power this whole new revolution.
And all that cash isn't just going into building data centers. Oh no, it is pouring directly into the AI companies themselves. And a perfect example of this is Anthropic. They're a major rival to OpenAI. And they are right on the verge of closing a funding round that could top $20 billion.
This just shows you how wild the AI arena has gotten. I mean, Anthropic isn't just quietly raising money in a boardroom. They are taking direct shots at the king, OpenAI, with Super Bowl ads, and they're teaming up with giants like Goldman Sachs. This isn't just about who has the best code anymore. This is a high-stakes, all-out war for who's going to dominate the market.
So you have this AI investment rocket just blasting off, right? Fueled by hundreds of billions of dollars. But what happens when that rocket hits a wall? Well, right now the brakes are being slammed on, and they're being slammed on hard from some very powerful places.
And that brings us to the second act of our story today, the big reality check. This is that moment where the soaring, sky-high ambition of Silicon Valley just collides head-on with the cold, hard facts of regulation and the beautiful chaos of human mistakes.
And this regulatory wall, it's being built brick by brick all over the globe. So in New York, lawmakers are getting really worried that the AI boom is draining all their power and water. So they've proposed a 3-year ban on new data centers. Then you hop across the Atlantic, and the EU is cracking down on apps like TikTok for their so-called addictive design. And back in the US, you've got these geopolitical tensions that mean Chinese software is getting banned from connected cars over security fears. The whole landscape is changing, and it is changing fast.
And right in the middle of all this, you get some pretty questionable claims. NVIDIA's CEO just recently declared that AI no longer hallucinates, which means, it doesn't just make stuff up anymore. To which pretty much every AI expert on the planet kind of raised an eyebrow and went, are you sure about that? So yeah, the hype is maybe running just a little bit ahead of the reality.
But it's not just the regulators who are pumping the brakes. Sometimes the biggest roadblocks, they come from inside the house. Because just when you think the tech world cannot possibly get any weirder, someone goes and makes a $44 billion mistake.
Which brings us to crypto's $44 billion blunder. And this isn't some complex story about a sophisticated hack or a crazy market collapse. No. This is a simple, hilarious, and honestly pretty terrifying case of someone just having a really, really bad day at the office.
So how in the world do you accidentally send out $44 billion? Well, it's surprisingly simple. Step 1, an employee at this crypto exchange Bithumb makes one tiny little operational error. Step 2, that tiny error accidentally airdrops $44 billion worth of Bitcoin into people's accounts. Step 3, you watch an absolute horror as the local market just instantly flash crashes. And finally, step 4, you frantically send out messages basically saying, "Pretty please, can we have that back?" And what's incredible is they actually recovered 99.7% of it. But wow, what a day.
But this shows you just how fragile these systems can be. This one whoops moment didn't just cause a headache for the company, it triggered a wave of panic selling across the entire crypto market, causing major coins like Ethereum to crash through key price barriers. A single finger slip literally vaporized billions of dollars in value, at least for a little while.
Okay, so we've got this massive investment boom clashing with regulations and just pure human chaos. So let's break down who's winning, who's losing, and most importantly, where you fit into all of this. The feeling out there is all over the place. If you're an AI startup, that flood of cash means things are looking pretty positive. But for crypto investors, seeing things like the Bithumb Blunder, that creates a huge cloud of negative sentiment. And if you're a data center operator in New York, well, the threat of a ban is a major red flag.
If you look at this chart, the winners are pretty clear. Companies like Anthropic and NVIDIA are just riding that AI wave.
And Apple is winning by smartly putting AI into products we already use. On the losing side, well, Bithumb, obviously. Data center developers who are facing those bans. TikTok fighting fines over in the EU. And now even Netflix is facing a new antitrust probe from the Department of Justice.
But what does all this high-level stuff actually mean for your day-to-day life? Well, this high-stakes tech tug-of-war is about to show up in a very familiar place, right there on your car's dashboard. So really, what does this AI battle mean for your daily drive?
Let's just say your commute is about to get a lot chattier. And I don't just mean you're going to listen to more podcasts.
This is actually a huge move. Apple is opening up CarPlay to third-party AI chatbots for the very first time. So what that means is that soon, instead of just using Siri, you could be chatting with ChatGPT or maybe even Anthropic's Claude to get directions or change the music. This is a massive, massive step in bringing this super advanced AI tech out of the lab and right into our everyday lives. So, what's the overall mood in tech right now? I think this chart really says it all. It's not pure excitement, and it's not total doom and gloom either. The main feeling right now is caution. There's a ton of excitement about the potential, for sure, but it's being balanced by the very real risks of regulation, market craziness, and, of course, billion-dollar mistakes.
It really feels like the future is arriving faster than ever, but so are the rules, and so are the mistakes.
Visit newsbite.tech for more tech news and bites.